So it is 6 o'clock. Good luck, have fun. We are about to get underway with the time attack phase. We get a map restart, so 10 minutes for people to get a good 2-lapper time in. Now, there are going to be some difference of strategies here with how people attack different laps. Some people will want to try to yeet their cars into the second lap and try to go super fast, whilst others will try to potentially get down on the first lap and try to save the second lap if they're looking pretty good. And or otherwise, some people are going to try to go for bankers in, or some people are going to go for full blast on 2-lapper pace. Hello Mizu, hope you're doing good. Hope everything is going well. Hope you guys are having a great week and a great weekend. We are starting the time attack phase. 10 minutes to set a time over the course of 2 laps on Starglide right now. So we're gonna be taking a little bit of time to relax, to chillax a bit on the casting, because it's been a while since I've had some really chill casts and a chill experience casting and whatnot, if I ever had any. But yeah, time attack will be one of those phases where the ranking will be able to change at any second, and it can change at any time at any point in the circuit. So it will be difficult to keep tabs on all of that compared to the final game mode, where everything will be much better to follow. So I'm just gonna be slow, just panning a little bit over the world here and checking on a few players. Let's actually see who we have on our new on our numpad of director. Hello Witty, hello Storman as well. Hope you guys are doing good. So let's see. First bind, we got Grenady. Second bind, we got Riolu going through the identity alongside Super Carlo, who had some really good starts. Scrappy either arrived late or maybe had a respawn after a early issue on early mistake on turn 1. So Riolu going through, Super Carlo forced to respawn. So yeah, he's gonna respawn at the other end. Riolu, Link, and Masa attacking lap number 2 here. Let's actually continue cycling through the car. So we have Scrappy and Riolu, Grenady and Riolu on 1 and 2. Matt on our 3rd bind. Then we got on 4th bind, we got our man from the Pittsburgh Knights, as we see Masa taking the pillar of the very first checkpoint at the start of lap 2 and going for the big yeet, for the big takeoff, some people might say, as he completely exits the map and shoots himself into the stratosphere. But yeah, Tween is in the Pittsburgh, is in our keybinds for the Pittsburgh Knights. Then we got on 5th, well, we got the man just ahead of him, as a matter of fact, Cap from KWK Esports, former Grand League player, looking to get back into TMGL, and he might be one of those contenders as well for that 2nd spot alongside Super Caluf and Dark. And on our 6th and final bind, we got Yannick's, currently looking to be safe in TMGL, not getting forcefully demoted to OGL next season, but we'll have to see how the Swiss driver does in the in this day 2 of the combine. Will there be a break after 3 maps or something like that? I don't think so. I don't think there will be a break like we had in the step. We're just gonna have to see how this plays out. But I don't recall seeing anything regarding a break compared to after a certain amount of maps. But Evan will get the first banker time in and the first benchmark with a 235.023. 2 tenths behind them, we find Link in 2nd place, then Cap in 3rd, and Tween in 4th with a 235.664. Riolu completes the top one with a 235.763. Let's actually see if we got anyone else that we can follow. Let's actually follow Matt. He's currently sitting on his first lap. After having made a mistake, he's gonna try to get a good banker time in to get at least a higher position than 16th. So let's actually follow him for a lap around. If he manages to survive it, at least. Here we go. So starting with turn 1, he goes for a really lengthy drift, forced to release a little bit because of the wide exit. That's okay, he keeps it on the road, touches a little bit of the barrier, but manages to keep it on the road as well, and goes through the first checkpoint. Now onto this double left-hander with the poles on the outside before the freewheel, then checkpoint, resets the freewheel, and allows it to give you a control, get engine control back over this banked dirt section. Small patch of dirt to initiate the drift before that jump, touching the wall on the inside, and that's going to be putting pay to that run from Matt. He's going to be looking to get himself a little bit of a pressure here, and trying to get a bit of a time, try to get the time set in at the very least. And yeah, I think Matt does not have a time set in. No, so far we only have 10 players who have set a time, make that 12 now, and the 4 remaining are Bren, Tialek, Grenady, and Matt. Let's actually check in on Bren. He's towards the end of his second lap. Let's actually see how the Kameto Corp driver fares in the identity. First crossing in the identity looks good. Second crossing in the identity, it might be on course to take the lead of the standings here on this map. He's just 1/10 away from Scrappy, although Massa is looking to really be in close contention with it, but that slow exit from the third reactor boost U-turn will cost him a lot of time. Let's actually see over the finish line. He's down in 7th, he might be down in 8th as a result of that, and I think he is staying in P7. Yes, he is indeed in 7th place, 8th. So far we got Tween with a .664 currently on his first lap. Let's actually check in if we got anyone on lap 2. Yannick's about to complete his second lap. Let's actually check in on the Swiss driver from Edelweiss Esports. If you make a mistake on lap 2, it's bad. Oh, and that's just what happened. You kind of jinxed Yannick's there. He was looking on course to be in P3, P4, but he went too deep at the final reactor boost U-turn, and yeah, touched the girder, and that was pretty much game over. He's gonna have 4 minutes to set at least one run in. You can there's barely a time for one run here. You cannot do 2 runs, otherwise you're gonna be cucked by timer. Is anyone else on the two-lapper? Did Matt set a time? No, not quite. Still 3 players without a time. Tialek, Grenady, and Matt at the present moment. Slowest man, 237.820 being Yannick's, and we have a 234.768, 678 for Scrappy in P1. Let's actually check in on Massa here. Massa on the first lap. Let's actually see if there is anyone on the second lap. Link is on the second lap right now. 10 minutes to still be enough for the players at this skill level. Yeah, I think it definitely should be enough to get at least one run in. Onto the identity we go for Link, currently looking to take the lead over Scrappy by around 3 thousandths of a second. Now we are coming to the identity though, on his very own map. Let's see how he does. Second crossing, looking pretty smooth from the Team XLT player from France. Oh, this is really beautiful from Link, and he's got an advantage over 2/10 over Scrappy. Over the finish line he will go, and he will take the lead over the Belgian. Yes, he will, with a time of 234.644. He takes the lead by 34 thousandths of a second over Scrappy. Meanwhile, Grenady also on his second lap at the present moment, heading towards the second half of the lap. Right now, not looking particularly brilliant in terms of pace compared to the rest of his competitors at the very least. 6/10 down on the leader, which is currently Link. P11 it would be if he manages to keep it on the road and go to the finish line. Identity coming up now for Grenady. First crossing, oh, really close to the inside ring, to the inside of the ring though. Second crossing again, a bit closer than he would like to be. Then third crossing, meanwhile Dofalt had a really slow exit out of there. And Grenady managing to get his fairly decent identity, but not enough to actually catch back up to Ryolu in P10. It will be at P11. Oh, actually, I say that maybe a bit too early. He's back up to 5th place with 0.604 of difference to Link in 1st place. Let's actually see if we have another run on the second lap. We got Ryolu at least. Cap just entered his second lap as well. Tween is towards the end of his first lap. Let's actually check in on Burim himself, on Mr. Streamer. Attacking the dirt section, pitching his car at an angle. Basically, last run. Yeah, and if you started the last run 30 seconds ago and you made a mistake, you're completely dead at this time. At this time of the month. And Massa apparently made a mistake, and he decided to pretty much abandon his run. Massa currently sitting in P3, so not too shabby effort from the Berlin International Gaming player from Germany. Meanwhile, Ryolu is coming towards the identity here on this run of Starglide. Currently looking to be placed in 10th. Actually not improving his previous time. He's currently half a 10th down on his best timing attempts right now. Although he seeks to regain some of that in the identity. Tween apparently made a mistake, so he has called it a day. Currently sitting in 10th place. Let's actually see how Ryolu fares in this instance. He will be coming back up to 5th place with a time of 235.108. Meanwhile, Matt is towards the end of his second lap. Cap has messed up at the identity on his second lap, so that's game over for Cap. Let's actually see if Matt is able to get a good time in. He will still be last, but yeah, he's just trying to get at least a banker time in, but 6 seconds down on the leader is not going to do the Brazilian any good. Matt in 3rd position. Matt in 16th position right now. How the final standings calculated in TA? Sum of map positions, and in case of tiebreakers, sum of all times. Matt gets at least a time in, so everybody has set a time at the present moment, and Link will be calling it a day. GG to Link, who's managed to get a good run of 234.664, taking over Scrappy taking the first place over Scrappy in 2nd place, and Masa completes the rostrum. Evan and Riolu complete your top 5. Super Karlov, Grenady, Default, Cap, and Bren complete the top 10, and the bottom 6 we have Tween in 11th place with a 235.664, Mutta in P12, then 13th we've got Tjalik, 14th for Yannick, 15th Dark, and 16th Matt. Tween 1.1 second away from the actually Scrappy taking over the first place from Link at the last second with a 5.517. I talked a little bit too fast there. Scrappy last second managing to get that W on in the books on that first map. Paradise is up next. It's Paradise by table, where we saw quite a few shenanigans happen in the step and also in the KO, most specifically last time around, especially with Grenady pulling a Masa, according to some people, where basically he did not have enough time to regain grip on the tires at the exit of the final ice wall ride, and went straight onto the pillar of the finish block, and turtled over the finish without crossing it, allowing Mutta to win the KO in a pretty zany round. So here we go for the second map of this time attack phase, Paradise by table, getting a little bit of a helicopter camera action, and we're seeing the first mistake already with Link heading full on into the barrier and respawning at the beginning of the map. Meanwhile, the rest are edging towards the jump slightly. Let's actually check in on one of our hotkey man. We got one of the Autoworld drivers, I think it was Chalik, who unfortunately made the early mistake. Matt has made a mistake as well, so he respawns. No, it was Riolu who actually made a mistake. We see Default in there. Oh, who was that? Tween's still in there, so it's not Tween. Link and Riolu have respawned a little bit here, have respawned quite a far away, as they made mistakes early on in their first lap, so they're already not doing themselves a favor. Thankfully, there's still 9 minutes to go, so still all good as we're going back with the wheelman himself, Grenady, from Wavy Esport, as we enter the freewheel section. 202 kilometers an hour speed, crossing the checkpoint when you regain control of your engine, as we're heading to the identity. So far it is Default, Tween, Mutta, and Masa. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who falls by the wayside? Dark managing to keep it together, but so close to falling in the void on the left-hand side of the road. Mutta will start lap 2. Everybody else will start lap 2, except maybe from Cap. No, Cap is still running, but Yannick has made a mistake towards the end of lap 1, so he is not with a time set. Nobody has a time set. Most people are towards the start of their starting the second lap already, with Mutta making a clear break for freedom on this initial run of Paradise. Meanwhile, Masa has respawned, ladies and gentlemen. He went way too far right. He was going to be hit. He knew that he was going to be hitting the wall on the right-hand side of the road, and so he decided to press delete and restart another 2-lapper run. Mutta, meanwhile, still in the lead in front of Bren, Carl, Evan, Default, Tween, and Grenady in this initial run. Mutta looking pretty good, I must say, in terms of actually the banker time to be set right here from the Australian player. Second freewheel section here, first freewheel section of the lap. Here we go. 2:05 at the crossing of the checkpoint for Tween. He's gonna overtake Carl and Default. He's up into 4th place, battling for 4th place with Default right now. Coming to the identity for the final time in this initial run. Oh, Bren going really close to the outside. Evan's going to take the opportunity potentially to overtake him. Mutta, meanwhile, will finish the round and set a banker and set the first reference point of 250.158. I think the record was a 49.5. I think it was that last time I checked the leaderboard. So 6/10 away from the world record in the TMGL Fall campaign. Meanwhile, 5th place for Tweed with a 251.764, just 3 thousandths ahead of Super Kalouf. Mara strong, yeah. The Australian Penguin is super strong, although that is really early in the morning for him. I think it's like, what, 5 or 4 a.m. for him right now? God, time zones are a really wonderful thing, aren't they? Anyways, Grenady, having restarted a run, currently sitting in 8th position with a 251.885. Let's actually see who has not set a time yet. 5 players have not set a time yet. Scrappy, Cap, Riolu, Yanix, and Tialik are the ones yet to get a time on the leaderboard. Meanwhile, Evan seems to be leading a pretty good pack, and seems to be leading the charge on the second run through Paradise by Table, and he has made a mistake at the entry to the free will part, so he has respawned and will be out of there, and it is going to be Tween leading Grenady to the identity for that run. Both going for a high for the Nose Binala strat, for the Nose Binala strat, and apparently, oh, that was a mistake from Grenady, forcing him to respawn. Tween is still running and improving his best run by 2 to 3/10 of a second right now, heading into the second lap. He can see Grenady up front because Grenady has respawned and is on a brand new 2-lapper run. Let's actually take a bit of a look with the helicopter camera right here to see that we can see the whole map, which means that all the players are spread out fairly well throughout the map, and Mudhav just respawned to get another run in. Tween, meanwhile, is heading towards the second dirt part with the turnover coming up next. Let's actually see if how Yanix is doing. Is he towards the end of his second lap? No, he's still on lap 1. Meanwhile, Cap towards the end of lap 2, about to get potentially a more representative line than the one that he had set last time round. Oh, he does not have a time, maybe. Oh, Cap touching a bit on the inside. He's down in P9 as a result of that. Meanwhile, Mudda managing to make some good ground. Tween towards the end of his lap, looking good for a P3 finish so far with the identity coming up. Still looking good for third. Let's actually see the identity from Marek. No, he touches the inside, and that run goes down the gutter. He knows it. He has to respawn. Now there's barely time for a single run. The best time we have is a 250.158, which means that it would take 5 minutes to get 2 laps in, but Tween so far looking in P6, not too bad. Let's actually see how Grenady fares. He's on the start of his second lap so far, a time that would be good enough for battling for third place with Dopefault and Bren at the present moment, and potentially for P2 with Link. Grenady towards the negative camber dirt turn, managing to keep a fair amount of speed, although he dropped a bit of time compared to Mudda and to the rest of his competitors. He's down in 6th place, potentially with that run, although there could still be a few places up from where he is currently sitting, as you can see on the back of the car, currently sitting in 9th position. Towards a turnover he goes. Onto the freewheel section. Let's actually see how much speed he retains through that section. Forced to lift a bit. 204 kilometers an hour. Tween retaining a bit more speed on that section and able to catch back up a bit. Tween is on his first lap, remember, in his run, whilst Grenady is edging closer towards the finish line. First wall ride coming up. Nicely done from Grenady. Barely avoiding the CP at the other side. Then we got the second wall ride. Will he be able to keep it clear? And yes, he will move up to second place. Grenady with 7/10 of a gap to Mudda. PB to for Grenady, who just set Pog in the chat. Can we get some Pogs in the chat for Grenady here? Improving his PB live in the time attack phase. Now there's now basically this would be the last run for most people. Bren has made a mistake, so apparently it is done for him. He is currently sitting in third though, with a 251.038. Grenady can't drive anymore either. Yeah, pretty. That could be checking out as well. Meanwhile, Tween on another time, marginal improvements, it must be said. Currently looking for P9. Currently following Massa currently following Massa on the track. Time looking good for 8th place at the moment, which would still which would still be an improvement over the P11 from last map. Free wheel section coming up. Oh, the speed! The line from Tween of keeping over 213 through there, managing to keep as much speed as he could. Moving up to P6 now, just the identity left to run for our man. Sped. No! No! Oh, it looks so good! Oh my god, oh my goodness. The caster skirt's hitting hard, our man. This is not what you want to see happen. So yeah, unfortunately for Tween, it is game over. Hello, Dedejo. Hope you're doing well. Too much sped. Yeah, too much sped into the first corner. Well, at least there's no Zbinala. I have to promise to practice my Zbinala because fuck samples, right? I want to do it myself. Zbinala. 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 Feels good this combine. Well, we're attacking the day with Tween joint first with Mudda, so yeah, it does feel pretty good. Although the time attack is not being that kind to Tween at the present moment. Why am I in Camp 3 with Ryulu's perspective? Hello? Just went down from a CPS match. Oh, how did it go, Didijo, by the way? Who's on the second lap? Let's see. I think everybody's on the last lap. Link just crossed the finish line, I think. Or did he? Yeah, he did. 250.828. He's up into second place. So solid effort from Link. Is there anyone towards the end of a second lap? Apparently there is. Default, though, has only 10 seconds. Dark as well. Dark is down in P14. Let's actually check in on Dark. 5 seconds left. Dark should be able to make it. Default might be a bit short. Dark Muck to P8 with a 251.724. 251.757. Default will be in 9th place. So, win for Mudda on this map with a 250.158. Link in second. Grenady third. Brennan Cap complete the top 5. Evan, Massa, Dark, Default, and Tween complete your top 10. Then last 6. Super Karlov, Scrappy, Ryulu, Yannick, Matt, and Tialek. Draw even though you could win, but it happens. Yeah, I guess it happens. Hello, I'm Angel, by the way. Hope you're doing well. So we're 2 maps down, 3 to go. Next map on the list is going to be Halfpipe by Kisla, where we're going to be seeing the big yeet across the identity, and what I like to call the Papoose strand, where basically yeet yourself at a low line to keep as much speed as you can. This is basically the Tony Hawk map which was begging to be meme, but I didn't have the time or motivation to do a meme about it. So yeah, I kind of feel guilty about that. There we go. Potentially one of my favorite maps ever to see in this one. Grand League season. Some people will call it Circles, and Circles is not bad, but this is what I really like. This is potentially meme material, ladies and gentlemen. You want to know why? I wanted to have I had the idea of a trailer that unfortunately never came to fruition, where basically you do a run of the map, right? You do a run of this map, a single lap run. And you just capture the identity here, and you would just like a trailer of 15 seconds. And you just put, as you cross the jumps over the sections, you would put Tony Hawk gap sounds here, and then once you pass the 4 gaps, you get a mission complete sound from Tony Hawk's Underground. that could have been a good Tony Hawk TrackMania crossover, but never got around to doing it. But jokes aside, we are starting Halfpipe by Kisla. Already Tween having made a mistake, so he restarts his run and leaves the rest of the pack to get their first run on the board. Same goes for Mats. Let's actually check in with Bren from Kameta Corp. We haven't seen him all that much, managing to get a good a good position last map around, as we're heading towards the double dip jump here. And Scrappy and Ryulu leading the charge with Massa, Dark, and Bren just behind them. Will anybody slow down in the top 5? No, everything seems good. Grenady and Yannick running together. Default just behind them. Scrappy making a break for freedom as we're heading towards the first crossing of the identity. Ryulu in P2 with Massa in P3. Let's see who goes for the yeeting strat. Massa with so much speed compared to Scrappy, although the execution of the second transfer is completely borked, allowing Scrappy to take the lead, and he gets overtaken even by quite a few players. Cap in P2, and Riolu moving up to third place. Chalik Default passing as well, demoting Massa to P6. In this initial run of Halfpipe, were there anybody else that respawned? Brent apparently respawned after a mistake on lap 1. Tween is coming towards the identity now. Is able to cross the finish line. Yes, and Dark has just respawned. So we're seeing more and more people making a few mistakes over the course of the laps, over the course of the runs, and throwing maybe some potential bankroll times away, which kind of sucks for them and sucks for the prospect as well. Currently following Link on his first run through the double dip jump. Will he clear it without any hitch? Yes, no slowdowns. Grenady has respawned. Meanwhile, Riolu is towards the end of his second lap alongside Scrappy. Let's actually check in on the other players. Matt has respawned. Tween is towards the second half of his second lap. Yannex has just respawned. Cap is towards the end of his second lap as well, just behind Riolu and Scrappy. Coming towards the identity now. Let's follow the perspective of the KWK esport driver from France. Oh, Riolu forced to slow down, and Cap was looking to overtake him, but he completely flustered his entry to the second transfer, and so he will respawn his run. Meanwhile, Scrappy gets the first reference time at 2:48.378. Riolu in second place with a 2:48.875. Default, Yannick, and Evan also have a time set with Massa following suit. Meanwhile, let's actually check in on Tween. Coming to the identity now. First transfer done, second transfer nicely done as well. Third transfer for Tween. Fourth and final jump, and across the start-finish line he goes to score in time, putting him in 5th place with a 2:49.943. Alright, not a bad first run from Tween, even though it is somewhat off the pace, 1.5 seconds around thereabouts compared off of Scrappy's ultimate pace at the present moment. Riolu half a second down on Scrappy, but still looking to be somewhat sharp in this early running of Halfpipe by Kisla. Still 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go, which would equate to around 2 full runs with the times that we have, at least with the best time in 2:48. Massa and Riolu running side by side, and Massa not having enough speed to clear the first dip jump even, so he will be out of the running and be respawning to restart a brand new 2-lapper run. As we're heading back to the helicopter camera, you can see we also had a few respawns on behalf of Mutta and Cap. And Link also having to respawn as well. Apparently Link just posted a time for 4th place with a 2:49.632. Carl is up to P9 with a 2:50.62 with 2.265. Tween still in 6th place with a 2:49.943. Still this only man to be below the still the last of the men to be below the 250 mark. Mutta is just above that with a 250.100. Grenady up into P8, Carl in P9, Evan 10th, and Massa 11th. Only 5 men without a time: Dark, Matt, Yannex, Bren, and Cap. Let's actually check in on Bren. It's towards the end of lap 1. Matt at the on the first half of lap 2. Yannex. Same sort of place as Matt, heading towards the platform jumps. Let's see Cap. First lap, and apparently that is it. We only have 4 players now who are, let's say, set a time. Grenady and Tween running in unison, both on their original laps, on their first lap through their run. Grenady touching the CP though, so he will be out of his run and being forced to respawn. With 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go, Tween heads to the identity for this first lap. Oh, going too low. He knew that it would happen, and it will be done for this run at the very least. And he has the time for one more run now. He needs at least 3 minutes to get a complete run to get a little bit of margin in. Margin in and not margarine. That would be gross. Not looking good at all for Yannex and Matt in the moment. Yeah, it definitely feels like it's their Grand League challenge is sort of kicking the bucket now. And to be fair to Matt, he gave it his all. Grand League style doesn't really suit him that well. He can't really show what he's capable of, and also with his hand injuries, I can't help but feel that he's in immense pain playing at the moment. I really wish him that his health does get better as time goes on. So going through the cycling through the players right now. Cap towards the end of lap 2. He's just behind Ryulu and Mudda at the present moment. Cap currently trying to set a time that could be looking good for P8. Currently sitting in P14. No improvement towards the top at the present moment, at least. First jump nicely done. Second jump, okay-ish. Third jump good, and fourth jump looking good as well. And Cap will get an 8th place finish with a 2:49.612. Yulu has taken to the second lap. Grenady as well. Tween is on his first lap. Yannick towards the end of the second lap. Stopping playing in TMGL should be good for his hands and wrists. Yeah, I do think so as well. Well, of course we will miss a memer on the circuit, but a good memer at that. But yeah, I think it would be good for his health for him to be able to focus on treating his wrist issues. I kind of wonder. I'm a little bit ignorant here as we're heading towards the final runs. I'm a little bit ignorant. Does he have like carpal tunnel? Is it carpal tunnel that he has on his wrist? I'm pretty sure it is. Meanwhile, Yannick has butchered the identity, so the time will not be improved. 250.763. Still a PB apparently, but only 15th position. Meanwhile, Ryulu has called it a day. Matt has called it a day. Tween heading towards the second lap. No idea. Okay, I'll try to ask him. I'll try to ask him whenever I manage to catch him. So let's actually check in with our man from the Pittsburgh Knights for the entirety of the second lap. Currently improving his 2-lapper run by 0.4 of a second, which would be looking good for P8. Right now he's in P12. 0.4 ahead of his best time so far. Still 400ths away from Ryulu in P7. So maybe he'll need to pull out something special in order to actually get some time back. Coming to the dirt part now. Still looking to be somewhat in the midfield. Black, red, and yellow dominant on the top 5. Belgium, Germany, Germany, Belgium, Germany. There you go. Then we got Australia, then France, 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 France. And oh no! I guess that's it for the run of the Tween. With a slow landing at the dirt section, he lost 8/10, the best part of 7/10. He touched the wall and he knows that it will be done, so yeah, Tween will be towards the bottom half of the scoreboard. It's currently sitting in P12. Not looking to get any improvement. 2 seconds down. Yeah, that is game over. And so Scrappy seems as though everybody's got their is edging towards the end of their run. Super Karlouf coming towards the end and touching the identity. That's over for Carl. Oh, Cap going through the safe way, so that's done. Is anyone else on a faster time? Scrappy missed the identity. Let's see if there's anyone else running. Mada is flipped over at a checkpoint, so apparently the times will stay put as they are, and the positions will stay put as they are, as a matter of fact. Let me just check for sure. And yeah, we will not have a time set for Matt, apparently. Evon potentially with improvement last time. 3, 2, 1, and no. Unfortunately not able to finish his run, but yeah, that will mean that Scrappy has won this this map in time attack with a 248.378. Ryulu in P2, Grenady P3, Dark in P4 last second, and Default in P5. 6th Massa, 7th Mada, 8th Bren, 9th Link, Cap, 10th. Then Tialek, Tween, Super Karlouf, Evon, Matt, and Grenady. Yep. Spreadsheet. Oh, I should potentially update the command. Hang on. Streamlabs. Professional streamer, shaking my head. Hang on. We'll get into the map in a bit. Let me just add the cam master spreadsheet to the command list. Okay, exclamation mark sheet now. You should be able to get the link. Not spreadsheet, just sheet. So, right now we're starting map 4, which is Circles by Link. Circles by Link, yeah, and his indeed map 4. Semiramis will be up next to complete these this run of the time attack session. Nobody has made a banker lap time. Shit. So far, you can see there's quite a bit of there's quite a few players. I think I wager that half the players have respawned already in this instance, having reset themselves. In fact, there are 9 players only in the lead pack, and 7 players have reset. And there's one more player that's getting reset with apparently Evan having made a huge mistake. So no, it's not Evan. It is Cap apparently. Yeah, the standings keep changing so often. Evan respawning towards the end. Identity coming up for the first time with Mutta leading the charge. Matt flipping a bit at this transfer, but that's okay. Coming towards the end of lap 1. Matt going for the high jump strat to get as much speed as he can. Brent, Scrappy, and Mutta 1, 2, 3, with Dark in 4th and his teammate Default in P5. Coming into the second lap, Brent has made a mistake in the ice in the first ice turn, so he will respawn. And Mutta will inherit the lead in front of Scrappy, Dark, and Default, with Matt behind them. Unless Matt has respawned. No, Matt is indeed in P5, so yeah, Matt is still on a decent banker, putting him in a provisional 5th at this stage of the map. Meanwhile, Mutta and Scrappy making a run for freedom. Mutta currently managing the gap up front. Let's actually check in on the perspective of the chaser. Lazarus Esports Scrappy from Belgium. Mutta coming towards the bottom edge of the grass. Looking good. Looking to keep his advantage really clean here. Onto the identity for the second time, the final time in this initial run of circles for both Mutta and Scrappy. Will there be any mistakes from either player? It doesn't seem like it. And Mutta will keep enough speed to retain that first place and set the benchmark of a 231.230, with Scrappy behind him. Then Dark, Default, and Matt have set their times as well. We're just going to be waiting for everyone to set a time before we get some decent rankings in there. Matt, the slowest of the initial runners, with a 233.238, with Link posting in a 232.558. A quick look at the helicopter camera, and yeah, everybody's fairly well spread out in the running order. Grenade moving up to 3rd place with a 231.987. Half the players have made a time on the leaderboard. Players left to get a time in: Cap, Karloof, Tjalek, Yannick, Evan, Bren, Tween, and Riolu. So yeah, we got only one TMGL player, well, 2 TMGL players having made a time on the leaderboard. A 3rd one now, with Massa putting a time only for P9 at 241.140, which is nowhere representative of the pace that can be achieved on the map. And we're going to be following Mr. 305, Kupremeister himself, Massa, coming towards the end of his first lap on the second run. A 10th of an improvement compared to his PB. Right now looking good for a 2nd place in the timesheets. Coming to the identity for the first time. Solid transfers from Massa, who takes the temporary lead at the end of his first lap, down to 2nd with 0.06 of a gap to Mutta. Ooh, going really close to the CP on the inside. Will that cost him any time? Let's actually see that. Didn't cost him all that much. In fact, he gained a little bit of time in that next section. But yeah, currently looking to get a P2 time on the board. We're going to follow him for the entirety of this lap, as a matter of fact. Coming towards the second ice wall right turn now. Looking good, still in the top 3, so still looking to be pretty good out there, with Evan having posted a really good time of 231.444 to put himself in 2nd place. So Massa looking to get a 3rd place right now, a podium finish, a podium spot in the timesheets on the cards for the German. And with Actually, he's dead even at the next checkpoint with Scrappy. And he might be taking second place with that. The identity coming up will be the final judge. This is where he actually messed up. You can see from the splits that he's up to 9 seconds compared to his PB. Evan is back up in front of Massa. Let's see, and it will be 4th place in the end from 1,000 from Scrappy. You look at this: Scrappy 231.531, 231.532 for Massa in 4th place. Evan 231.444 and 231.230 for Mudda in the lead. And so far, 4 players left to set a time: Ryulu, Bren, Tween, and Chalik. Marek has not set a time yet on circles. This was one of the more difficult maps maybe for him in this the regular season. So it might have been it was kind of a miracle to see, I must say, from a perspective, to see him stay in the top 8 and keep all of his points. Oh no! The respawn? Yeah, respawn. Is he gonna have trouble to set a banker time in? He does have a time for a full run now. He cannot have 2 runs where one where he gets safe and one where he can actually full risk it and try to improve it. He just has time for 1 run, so he needs to get a time on the board now. Let's actually check in on who might be on the second lap. Oh, Bren taking the lead of the standings with a 231.128. Bren, who said that circles was his worst map, just took a top 1 that immediately was contested by Mudda, dipping underneath the 231s with a 230.996. Is there anyone on the end of the second lap? No, Link starting the second lap, Nasa as well, Scrappy starting a brand new run, Cap towards the end of lap 1. I'm sorry for the click action seeing here. Default starts his second lap. Yeah, most people are starting his second lap right here. Thank you, Duo. Hope you're doing good. Welcome, and thank you for allowing me to have the drink. Second water bottle, here we go. It's just been popped open. Well, let's actually see. Is there anyone on the second lap? Okay, Matt is on the second lap on our hockey. Then we got Tween also starting his second lap. Currently looking good for a time for P4 at the present moment. 2/10 down on the 2/10 down on the current leader of the standings, which apparently seems it was Bren at the current CPs. Good thing you're not Kimi. Yeah, at least I do have the drink. Yeah, that's what I said. So let's continue to follow our man here for the rest of his lap. Currently looking to be 4/10 down compared to Bren at this exact checkpoint. Mudda, the leader in the timesheets with a 230.996 with 1 minute and 46 seconds left to run on circles by Link. Still looking good for Tween. Right now in last place, he does not have any time on the board so far. The identity will be the judge here. He needs to keep it safe and sound. He needs to bring a good time in to improve compared to the rest of the leaderboard. No, he touches the inside. Oh, will he be able to clear it? No, 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 no. And that's dead. We just jinxed it. It's dead. It's gone. It's a 16th place, unfortunately, for Tween. But he will at least get a time in. But a time that's nowhere near what he could have achieved. I reckon that he could have had a 31 there. That's really unfortunate. Grenady called it a day. Riolu towards the end of his second lap with 1 minute left. Matt has called it a day. Tween, of course, with his mistake, has called it a day as well. Now, Cap, 50 seconds left. Now, I reckon he might be able to get to the end of his run. Superkalif is going toward the end of his as well. Although there might not be a significant improvement for him. No, he is 8/10 down on this PB. That's done for Superkalif. Cap towards the end of his second lap with the turnover pass. Riolu at the identity. He barely improves. Half a tenth in front of his personal best. A 10th up now. He might be improving up to 9th or 8th. He moves up to 8th past Grenady with a 231.970. And Bren in P2 has put a stunning performance considering that he said that it was one of his worst maps. Now, Riolu was in P8, but can Cap actually dethrone the German from P8? He might be on course to do that. No, he touches the CP and that's over for Cap. He will remain in P7 at the present moment. And that is it. Mudda wins Circles with a 230.996. Brendan second place. Link third. Evan and Scrappy complete your top 5. Masa, Cap, Riolu, Grenady, and Dark complete the top 10. Then Carl, Default, Yannick, Tjalek, Matt, and Tween complete the rest of the ranking as we're heading towards the final map of the time attack phase, which is going to be Semiramis by Table and Firestorm. The map that saw Gwen win the regular season of the Grand League earlier in the year towards the second half of the October month. Let's actually check in on the spreadsheet so far. So, rank. Can I sort by rank? I don't think I can sort by rank for now. Shit. So far, it might be looking like Tween would be demoted into third place, and apparently there would be a tiebreaker between Carl, Link, and Evon. Well, Evon will be in fourth, but then there will be a tie between Carl and Link. And now the two demoted have gone from Bren and Matt to Yannick and Matt. So Yannick's not looking so good with the final map coming in for the time attack phase. Tween not even getting trophies. Yeah, that's kind of sad. That's kind of sad here, unfortunately. Best map of all time for Mutta, apparently, according to the Australians. So we're gonna have to see how how he fares in this initial run on Semiramis by Table and Firestorm. We have started already since the minutes, coming in with a perspective from Tween. He touches the outside wall, sorry, and he will respawn alongside Mutta, apparently. So both have failed their runs. Both the early leaders at the end of day 1 have failed their runs. So far, Mutta might be looking to retain the lead of this the combined. Scrappy moving up to P2 and Tween down in third place overall as it stands, of course, with the final map yet to run in this time attack phase. So we're gonna have to see how everyone fares in terms of times in this particular running. Matt is towards the end, is on the second half of this first lap. Meanwhile, the second lap has been started for Scrappy, Dark, and others. Let's actually go back to the perspective of Yannick in this instance. Currently third on the race, currently third on the road with Link, but a bit of a sluggish entry through there, so he gets overtaken by Link and by Grenady as well. He's down to 2 places just like that. Scrappy, Dark, Link, Grenady, and Yannick, the top 5 on the track at the moment, and Dark makes a mistake and goes fully right after touching the wall, and that will be meaning him that he respawns. Scrappy, meanwhile, still leading Link convincingly. Grenady up into third place as a result of Dark's mistake. Let's actually see how the times will look like after everyone crosses the start-finish line, with the identity coming up right now for the final running in their initial run. Scrappy, Link, and Grenady looking good. Yannick maybe a little bit less speedy. Grenady touching, clipping a little bit. Will we be able to clear it? No, that's a respawn immediately for Grenady. Yannick's up into third place, and Scrappy will get the benchmark down with a time of 218, sorry, .951. Link 219.893, Yannick's 220.447, and Default 220.661. Those are going to be your 4 first times to be put on the board here. Quick look through the helicopter camera. Everybody at different stages of their runs. Let's actually check in a little bit on on where everyone is at. Matt towards the end of his second lap. Tween starting his second, and Tween towards the start of his second lap at the moment. Matt's looking to get a P3 time on the board, 220.380, putting himself ahead of Yannick. And Tween apparently made a mistake in his second lap, meaning that he was forced to respawn and does not have a time on the board yet. Evan has put a 219.351, putting himself in second position. Meanwhile, Super Kaluf puts the time that is valuable for fourth place with a 220.033. Okay, Riolu on the start of his second lap. Grenady well into his second lap. Let's actually check in on the Wavy Esport player from Germany. Currently looking to get a time that would be valuable, that would put him in 6th place at the present moment, with the points that do come, with the position gains that could come with said 6th place. Cap finished the run and puts himself in 2nd place with a 219.333. The only man dipping below the 219s, currently Scrappy with a 218.951. Mudda has set a time of 226.111 in P10, so that is definitely nowhere near representative of the pace of the Australian in this instance. Currently sitting in P10, and so far still 6 players yet to set a time. Bren, Riolu, Dark, Tialik, Tween, and Grenady. Grenady having made a mistake in his second lap, he is done for. Meanwhile, Riolu towards the end of his first run, I don't think he had set a time before. No, he did not. And Riolu will move up into 5th place with a 219.771. Bren moving up to 2nd place with a 218.968, joining Scrappy in the sub 219 class, sub 219 gang, sorry. And apparently that's pretty much it for people who have set times. Dark, Tialik, Tween, and Grenady yet to get a banker run in the books. 5 minutes remaining. We're already halfway through the last map. Tween starting his second lap on his run. Our man looking yet to set a time on the board on this map. Looking good for P4 as things stand. Who else is there that could be on this end of the second lap? Nope, we're still going to be following Tween for now for the final part of his lap. Hopefully the spectator scores will not indulge too hard. And Tween keeps it off the wall, so that looks good. P4 so far. There's still the identity left to run. A bit of time lost in that section, dropping him down to 6th, but not by much. So he could still catch up to Massa and Cap if he needs to in the identity coming up. Let's see the jumps from Tween. First jump, looking pretty conservative here. Second jump, maybe a bit less conservative. Oh, that's a huge slowdown right there. He manages to clip to clear the third jump, but that's going to drop him a bit of time. He will be able to get a time on the board though, and he will go into 6th position with a time of 219.581. Mudda, meanwhile, has climbed up to P5 in the standings with a 219.521. So Mudda looking pretty good. Then so far, only Grenady and Tialik have yet to set a time, but so far Scrappy, Bren, and Evan are looking super good. Then Cap, Mudda, Tween, Dark, and Riolu have set some pretty good times. With Default the only one to with Riolu and Default the only ones after them to be in the 219s. Then the rest of 220s with Super Caliph down in 11th place. Link potentially to catch back up to Carl and potentially pass him in the standings. He knows, he said himself on Twitter that he knows that he can push it for a Grand League spot, so it is looking pretty good. Hello, Hofi. Yes, Scrappy dominating, definitely. Scrappy 218.951 while dominating. He managed to extend this down really early, so yeah, he managed to get a good time on the board really early on. But look at the gap with Bren. It's not that big. 17 thousandths of a second between Scrappy and Bren. Scrappy, the Dom of Witty, and the Dom of Witty. Oh my god. Well, apparently some of the Scrappy fans are here, so maybe the chat will become Pepe guy in a minute, but whatever. You have inside info that he's actually a sub. Are you sure about that? Bren towards the end of his second lap, second half of the lap. Let's actually see how he fares. Lost a bit of time in the transition, so he will be down 2/10 compared to his PB. Not able to catch back up to cut that time, so might be that maybe that will be it. Now we are heading towards the final runs for people here, the final time attack runs at least on Semiramis by Table and Firestorm. Bren coming towards the end of his 2-lapper run. And it will not be an improvement for the Kameto Corp driver. Grenady, Mats have done their run. Tween is on his second run, trying to improve. Currently sitting in P7, but so far 2.5 tenths down on his PB. No improvement on the horizon. Yannick has called it a day. Yannick will be down in the depths of the scoreboard. Evan in P3. Let's actually see. Oh, sorry. Is he on the second lap? No, he's just aborted his run. We're coming towards the end of the second lap for Link. No, that's done for Link. He will not be able to improve that. Mudda, full stop pick into the wall as well. The improvement from Tween doesn't really look likely here with the 3/10 of a gap. He touches the inside wall even, so that's game over between who will be staying in P7. It seems as though the gaps will remain that way. Unless maybe Ryulu can pull something special, but he's not improving as well, so maybe that will be done. Masa already left the server? Oh, come on. Yeah, he did. He's in last. Tialik has called it a day. Superkilf has called it a day. Default's called it a day. Ryulu is towards the end of his run, so let's see how he goes to the identity here. First jump nicely, second jump. He's 1.1 second down though, so there will not be an improvement from Burim. That will be the end of the time attack phase, and on the final map, Strappy Dits another map win with a 2:18.818, improving nicely here. Bren second place with a 2:18.968, and Evan completes the podium with a 2:19.068. Cap and Link complete your top 5, then Mutta, Tween, Dark, Grenady, and Ryulu complete your top 10, and then we've got Default, Super Karluf, Yonex, Matt, and Tialik to complete the top 16. GG everyone, that concludes the time attack phase, and we're